In 1922, deep in Bavaria, the Gruber family lived on a lonely farm called Hinterkaifeck, a place where the wind carried secrets and death lurked nearby. Andreas, Kazilia, their daughter, Victoria, her 2 children, and a maid lived simply, but something sinister was closing in. Days before the murder, strange noises echoed from the attic, footsteps, scratches, but no one was found. Andreas discovered footprints in the snow that led to the house, but none led away. Someone was watching. A neighbor saw a stranger near the farm, tall and silent, his lantern glowing in the dark before vanishing. A strange newspaper from Munich appeared in the house, unclaimed and unfamiliar. The house key went missing, leaving the family feeling exposed. Night after night, the attic groaned as Andreas searched, finding nothing. Or so he thought. Victoria sensed eyes on her and whispered to her mother that they were not alone. On March 31, the maid fled, screaming about a ghost, but the family dismissed her fear. That evening, Victoria was lured to the barn by her name being called a trap. A heavy mattock awaited in the barn, and the killer struck Victoria down without mercy. Andreas, Kazilia, and young Kazilia were also lured and slain. The mattock ended them all. 4 bodies were stacked like firewood and hidden under hay, turning the barn into a grave. Little Joseph and the new maid Maria remained unaware of the horror around them. The killer crept inside silently, the mattock still dripping with blood. 2-year-old Joseph was silenced forever with 1 blow. Maria's scream was brief after the killer found her unpacking her bag. 6 were dead in 1 night, but the nightmare wasn't over. Days later, neighbors saw smoke rising from the farmhouse chimney. Someone was still there, cooking. The killer stayed on, eating the family's food, sleeping in their beds, living among the dead. The family dog barked frantically for days, but no one heeded its warning. On April 4th, neighbors finally came to check the farm, only to discover the gruesome horror in the barn. Inside, Joseph and Maria lay dead. The farmhouse was a slaughterhouse. Police found a recently used mattress in the attic. The killer had lived there, watching the family's every move. Footprints in the house matched those in the snow, confirming the killer's presence before the murders. Rumors swirled about a lover, a neighbor, or something more sinister. The unfamiliar newspaper from Munich was a possible clue or a taunt from the killer. The lantern seen by the neighbor was found. Inside it did not belong to the Grubers. Witnesses spotted a man in a coat. Days after the murders, he vanished into the night. The mattock used was the family's own tool, indicating the killer knew the house well. The family was buried without their heads, their skulls sent to a clairvoyant who spoke of betrayal from someone close and trusted. Lorenz Schlittenbauer, a neighbor who found the bodies, became a suspect as his boots matched the prints, but he was questioned and walked free, leaving the town in doubt. The farm was demolished in 1923, and the case grew cold and unsolved. The theories remain. Was it a drifter, a scorned lover? Why did the killer stay, living among the dead and haunting the house? They ate the family's food, slept in their beds as if they belonged. Young Kazilia survived for hours, pulling out her hair in agony, alone. The killer fled into the forest, leaving no trace, no motive, no justice. Hinterkaifeck remains Germany's darkest unsolved mystery. Locals avoid the site, calling the land cursed and haunted by the dead. Some hear footsteps, thumps, and a mattock scraping in the dark at night. Whispered tales speak of the killer's ghost still living in the house that never was. Grubers are forgotten, but their screams echo in Hinterkaifeck. The lantern dims, the farm fades, but the horror lingers on. What would you do if you heard footsteps in your attic? Hinterkaifeck reminds us that evil can hide in plain sight, unnoticed. Sometimes evil doesn't flee, it stays and lives among us. Listen closely. The silence of Hinterkaifeck still holds its secrets. Imagine dining, unaware that someone's watching you from your attic. Every creak and thud was a warning the Grubers ignored. Victoria knew something was wrong, but no one listened to her fear. The barn became their tomb, the house the killer's sanctuary. Picture the killer eating their bread and sleeping in their beds, hiding in the attic and watching every move for days, maybe weeks. Those footprints in the snow were the first clue, ignored by all. That newspaper was a taunt. The killer wanted them to know. The lantern's owner, killer, or witness? The answer is lost. Lorenz walked free, but his shadow never left Hinterkaifeck. The clairvoyant's word was betrayal. Someone the family trusted. The mattock was theirs. The killer turned their own tool against them. The forest hid the killer with no trace, no answers, only darkness. Kazilia suffered for hours, trapped in terror alone in the barn. The dog barked until his voice broke, but no one came. Smoke from the chimney showed the killer lived on, unseen and undisturbed. Neighbors waited 4 days while the bodies rotted in silence. Police found no motive, no suspect, only a house of horrors. The attic mattress proved the killer was there all along. The foreign lantern wasn't theirs, a clue to a stranger's presence. The man in the coat was seen leaving and was never found. The farm is gone, but its ghosts linger in the Bavarian woods. Footsteps still echo where the farm once stood, chilling those who hear. The killer's shadow remains, tied to that cursed land forever. Hinterkaifeck shows us that evil doesn't always run, sometimes it stays. Subscribe for more true horror. Share this video and join the darkness.